Look at these lupines. Are you not amazed? I want to talk about how I'm growing these here and pretty much the life cycle and how you guys can grow these at your own house. So here at Plant Daddy Express, I now have plants, but then I have also been giving away seeds. Can you imagine that I did not plant any of these? I mean, how in the world do you get these plants this gorgeous, this great looking, without planting a single one? I know it's kind of crazy when I tell people that. And I didn't plant any of these over here either. Like, let's come over here. You know, there's that one doing great there. But basically, the way that all of these plants, oh my gosh, my dad's working over there. But basically, the way that I got all of these plants to grow is from seed. And like I said, I did not plant any seeds. I did not sow any seeds. When we look a little closer, you'll see all of the seedlings. And these seedlings, they pop up all over the place. Look at that. This is literally landscape fabric, and they are popping up all over the place because they germinate pretty easily. And look at this. They're even growing in the stones. I mean, look at that. That's one. That's one. There's no soil here pretty much, and they are popping up in the stones. So basically, what happens, those flowers turn to seed pods that look like beans. Like, they look like little beans. So each one of those pods has multiple seeds in them. And so I just let these things mature and then dry up and then open up. And then next thing you know, they fall. And then you have hundreds of seedlings. So then what happens after these things fall, they germinate. They're pretty much small little seedlings. And then next thing you know, the next year, throughout the year, they grow into little plants like this, mid-size. And then they grow extremely, extremely fast. You know, one year they might only have a couple flowers, and that plant should survive, and then it'll look like this. Like, this one plant is just massive, and they're still growing flowers. But then it's sad to say, but like, especially the ones over there and all the biggest ones, like this plant right here, I mean, there's probably a 75% chance that this lupine will die. And so this plant will die. But then with all these seeds that this produced and the seedlings and the small plants around here, those plants are hopefully, like that plant right there, it might flower now. Who knows, that might die, but it should survive. It'll flower like crazy. And what happens is these plants, like I said, they die. They make room for the little ones. And these plants are not really monocarpic. They don't really die just right after they flower, like, you know. So these are the plants that I've got for sale. And this is the gallery mix. So you got yellows, you got pinks. Over here, right here, look at this. You got yellow and pink. And then you got more yellow and pink, kind of. And then I sold one today that was purple. And look at this pink down here. The color is great. So, you know, with the gallery mix, you got all different colors. But when I planted the very first one of these, I literally had like 40 pots of seedlings. I planted all of them. Within a couple weeks, they basically all died. I planted one that I thought was decent there in the center. That was where I planted the first one years ago. That thing started to grow. Or maybe, who knows, maybe it died. Let's just say it died. I had a couple other seeds in that pot for sure. And I think that those germinated. And then that plant, next thing you know, it was decent, barely surviving, hanging on. And then next thing you know, spring happened. And that plant just grew like crazy. And I'm telling you, that year it had tons of flowers. That plant was like that, probably bigger. I mean, I think it was looking like that, with going from no flowers, a tiny little plant, to that. And that's what these plants do. In the spring, they grow like crazy. And the next thing you know, that produced a ton of seeds. The seeds fell, and then it started growing. And you know, this plant, you know, if I didn't want them growing, then I would just kind of shave them off. Slightly almost invasive at this point because I have so many dang seedlings, but they are so nice and everyone compliments them. I mean, how could you not like those? So how can you grow these plants? You can get seeds. You can get seeds from me, or you can get plants, or you can go, you know, you can go somewhere and get plants. Like I said, if you get a big plant that's this size, like, there's a good chance that it just might not survive to the next year. Because these plants here, even established plants that I did not even transplant, this plant might die. So what's going to happen is this plant might die. It's going to grow tons of seedlings. So if you get a plant that's full size in a 1 gallon pot or a 2 or 3 gallon pot, let's just say, you plant it and it does amazing. I'm hoping that you guys get some viable seeds. The seeds will have to spread around the ground, you know, randomly. And then next thing you know, you'll be left with these. So like my pots over there that I just showed you, those plants, they should survive and grow really big like these over here. You know, they should grow and be huge like this. But then after that, you know, I'm planning on this one dying and I'm planning on these other ones dying. But what's going to happen is this little one that's down there and some of these other seedlings that are down there, those are going to take their place. But I'm telling you, I did not plant any of these. I did not plant those. They all just kind of grew from seed. So then those will pretty much blow in the wind. And then next thing you know, like over here, I've got landscape fabric from here all the way to there. And then you've got these stones and you've got mulch. So you don't have any soil. And those seeds are literally germinating over here. And then I got a seedling that popped up over there, potentially from, you know, just moving soil. And then I've got them popping up over here. And, you know, and mine are in here at Plant Daddy Express. I got lots of plants, tons of other videos on a whole bunch of different things. Those are also self-sown plants, the Blazing Star Liatris. And, but basically, you know, just talking about the other plants right there, and right here. And definitely this one right here, that's Liatris. So once these are done, I've got a wave of those. So when those are done, basically, that's going to be flowering. I've got daisies, gaillardias, balloon flowers, and then the ornamental grasses, and then tons and tons of other plants are going to be flowering, daylilies. And then look at this. The hummingbirds love this coral bell right here. They, you know, you've always got color and different flowers all over the place. So you're going to want to plant lupines if you can let the seeds spread. If you are not going to want to maintain your plants that much, but you still, I have to weed this all the time. But look at these plants. Lupine. Like I said, you can either get seeds, post in your local garden groups or just your local groups and ask, hey, does anyone have any lupines? Because I've got, you know, probably a gallon, or I had a gallon of seeds. I gave away a ton of them. And the original plant was just straight up purple. Now I've got the pinks popping up. And then I've got some, the one right there, it's literally just like a mix of pink and purple. It's a light purple, just like this one over here, a little bit lighter color. And I'm thinking that maybe these over here, hopefully some of that pollen will get over here. Because imagine just a couple yellow ones, a couple white ones, just a mix. And there's red ones out there and there's multicolored ones too. So flowering lupine doing absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm going to watch back future years and then either these things are going to keep on going crazy or who knows, maybe the big plants will die off. I mean, you might have some years where they're doing amazing and some years where your seedlings just aren't so good. I think that they like moist conditions, cool conditions, which is exactly what we have this year. But in the spring, that's pretty much what spring is. You know, they grow native in certain areas and they, I mean, look at this. This flower is like a foot and a half long. That's snow in summer. That's fire witch dianthus. Thanks for watching, guys. Watch my other videos.